Hey guys, how you doing? This is John with GameStreet81.com. This episode, I wanted to put together my top arcade games that I would love to own. And if I had my own arcade, these would be the games I would want to put my own arcade for others to play. So by all means, please post video responses. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree. Post, comments below, all that great stuff. So on to number 20. Number 20 is a game that came out in 1998 by Sega. It's a shooter, great shooter, House of the Dead 2. Don't get me wrong, House of the Dead 1 is definitely good, but for some reason, I think Sega got it right with House of the Dead 2. Just the story, the gameplay. This is a great game to play co-op with. I love the way that Sega had the graphics and the gore. But great port to this game also is for the Dreamcast. So if you own a Dreamcast, definitely check out House of the Dead 2. There is a light gun for the Dreamcast you can pick up. But I love the look and feel of the cabinet. They have a sit-down version and stand-up as well. Great shooter. House of the Dead 2, number 20 on my list. Number 19 on my list is also another great shooter, this time by Atari. Came out in 1995. It's Area 51. Great memories playing this in the arcades. In fact, my first job growing up was at a movie theater. And at the theater where I worked with actually had a Area 51 cabinet, so I used to play it all the time. There's a sequel, Area 51 Site 4, also Maximum Force is kind of a sequel and spin-off as well, but I really like Area 51. It's great to play two-player with. They actually took live images, live actors, and they kind of blue screen, green screen them into the game. I love the gameplay and the power-ups as well. Definitely a great shooter to check out, this Area 51. Number 18 on my list is a great sports games. In fact, when I think of sports games for arcades, this is probably the one that really got people excited about sports again in the arcade, and that is NBA Jam by Midway. Came out in 1993. Again, they use images from the actual basketball players and they put them into the game. It's a 2-on-2 playing game, but this cool thing is there's no fouls in it. There's slam dunks, quotes like "Boom shakalaka," "He's on fire." Just people hear those and they right away think of NBA Jam. It spun off obviously a sequel, NBA Jam Tournament Edition, which is awesome. Even NFL Blitz later on as far as gameplay and style go, but this is another great game that you can play up to 4 players with. Awesome. NBA Jam has to be number 18 on my list. On to number 17. Number 17 on my list is another shooter. It's by Midway and it came out in 1981 based on a movie. Now typically games that are based on movies aren't very good. However, this is an exception. It's Terminator 2 Judgment Day, based on the movie, of course. And what I really like about this game, it follows the movie really well. They actually take the actors that are in the movie or in the game as well. It's co-op and it's super challenging. There's a machine gun and it actually vibrates and stuff like that. And the ending is kind of frustrating. This game would definitely be higher on my list, except for the ending is so frustrating, so hard that I remember just putting tons of quarters into it. But still, nevertheless, a classic. I really like the design of the cabinet itself. It's a big one, but number 17 on my list, that's Terminator 2. Number 16 on my list is a great beat 'em up by Konami. It came out in 1989. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, based on the cartoon, actually. And I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love the cartoons, the comic books, but they're in the late 80s. It was very, very popular. Turtles were very, very popular throughout the 90s as well. But this is a good job of really making the feel of the Turtles. You can play up to 4 players at one time, which is awesome. And you can choose between Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo, or Raphael. And it's a great beat 'em up as well. It's been ported to Xbox Live recently, so if you want to check it out, you can go to Xbox Live as well as PlayStation Network. But it's a great game. I love the cabinet. April O'Neil on the cabinet cracks me up because she's got a crazy wig on. But if you like Turtles, you like beat 'em ups, certainly want to check out. That's number 16 on my list. Number 15 on my list is classic. It's Joust by Williams. Joust to me is a great game. If you've played, let's see, for the Nintendo Entertainment System games like Balloon Fight, that's certainly sampled on Joust. The premise is it's also a co-op game. You're on these, I believe, ostriches, and you're flapping up and down, and you're supposed to land on your enemies. It gets very, very challenging. I love the gameplay. It's very, very unique. Definitely want to check out. Now, Joust 2 came out as well. I believe it came out a year later, or maybe 84, but didn't do as well because it came out during the crash, the video game crash. Still, that's a really good game as well, but certainly Joust has got to be up there. That's number 15 on my list, Joust by Williams. Number 14 on my list is a great fighting game by Midway. Came out in 1992, and it's Mortal Kombat, the first one. Spun off a huge series of games, including Mortal Kombat 2, 3, other ones for the home consoles as well. For me, Mortal Kombat I really like the fact that they actually took actors in the game. It was super bloody and gory, which was controversial during this time. But I love the finish moves, finish him. And I remember going to the arcade back in the day, in the 90s, and people lining up to play this game. I like Sub-Zero probably the best. It's probably my favorite character. I like Scorpion as well. But you got a whole bunch to choose from. Sonya Blade, just a number of different great characters, and they're all different as far as gameplay style. It spurred off a couple movies as well. Huge success for Midway, and that's number 14 on my list. It's Mortal Kombat. Number 13 on my list is a game that came out by a company called Cinematronics. You may have never heard of them before. They only made a few games. But what's cool about this game is very unique in gameplay. It came out in '83. It's Dragon's Lair. Basically, it's run off of Laserdisc. And basically it's a cartoon, and you have to hit buttons in certain directions at certain times of the game to continue the game. So it's super challenging, and I'll be honest, I'm terrible at Dragon's Lair, but I remember going to the arcades and being blown away. It's like interactive cartoon, super cool. The animation was actually drawn by the same guys who did like Secrets of NIMH, the movie, and stuff like that. So the animation is really, really cool. It's imported to a whole bunch of different consoles and stuff like that, but don't be deceived because consoles like the Nintendo Entertainment System and Game Boy, obviously are 8-bit. Those are more side-scrolling platforming games, where Dragon's Lair itself is this kind of interactive cartoon. Very cool. I love the cabinet as well. It's just a beautiful cabinet, and it's unique because it runs off a Laserdisc. So that is number 13 on my list. This is by Atari. It's an iconic racing game. When I think racing games, like early racing games, this is certainly one. And I think if it wasn't for the success of this particular game, we wouldn't see a lot of the racing games later on. And this is Pole Position. Came out in 1982. Super cool. I love the just simple controls. You get the steering wheel, you get the gas pedal, and there's actually advertisements in the game as well. Billboards passing by, you can see advertisements for various things as well, which is cool. But I remember it's kind of tricky because you'd always blow up when you hit some things would blow up and stuff like that. But it's you basically against the time clock, but super cool. It's Pole Position. Number 11 on my list is a game that came out in 1980. It's actually a sequel to a really popular game. It's Asteroids Deluxe by Atari. I love the way that Atari did this because it almost has a 3D feel to it. Asteroids is such a classic game. They added a couple new features in this game as well, including like a shield. I don't think it was in the original one, but super, super fun. Controls are very, very unique, and you move around shooting these asteroids on the screen, but it's basically what I really liked about these classic vector-style graphic games are they're so bright and crisp and clear, especially when they added kind of the 3D image to it as well. I don't know how they did, like bounce off the mirrors or whatever, but super fun game nevertheless. Asteroids is obviously a classic, but I have to put number 11, Asteroids Deluxe. Well guys, that concludes my part 1 of arcade games I absolutely love. Please let me know what you guys think. I will have part 2. I'll put a link to part 2 so you can watch it. That will feature numbers 10 through 1. Thanks for watching guys. We'll see you soon. Take care.